Yes, we can hear you.
So new site 2 is just a continuation from new site 1. And we used a lot of components in new site 1 into new site 2 or new site 2. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to git clone new site 2. All right. CD into new site 2, clear. And then in the instructions, it said, before we begin the challenge, copy over components article and article teaser and the app nav from the original news site. So I'm going to go to my original news site and copy over these three. These three components. So I'm going to copy CP lectures. Where's news site 2? Go into my source, and then my components. It has this article list already in there. So it's a new one. I'm going to paste those in there. So we've got app nav, article list, which is the new component that's already in the for news 2, and then article teaser. Then in the direction says copy over app.js from news site. So I'm going to go back down to my news site 1 and copy over app.js. I'm just going to copy over all that code. Go up to app.js. Is that the right one? Yep, news site 2, app.js. Copy that in there. Let's just, what's the next step I need to do? I cloned it, I copied over the components that I needed from news site 1. Now what do I have to do with news site 2? I need to run the server?
Sure, see after you copied it over.
So I saved it.
Yeah.
So is it npm start to start the server?
Yeah, that is what you have to install.
All right, a bunch of failed. So I'm gonna have to npm install. What does npm install do? What file does it grab that stuff from? So that when I run npm install, it grabs everything from the JSON file. This is essentially just the configuration of all the dependencies and stuff. It's like libraries that I need for the new site 2. And it installs them. So npm install. Hopefully it works. Might take a couple of. You might get errors like this. It's fine. Just certain commands failed. State change start script is probably not a problem with npm. That's fine. So it's loading everything. Then after this, I'm going to start my server. So with new site 1, we're just dealing with primarily like a basic components and using state and props. In new site 2, we're going to deal with routing, and utilizing the URL to grab specific information from our data. Whoa. All right, we have all of it fixed. That's fine right now. I'm just going to clear this, and I'm going to npm start to start the server. Hopefully it starts. Unable to this is the first time I've seen this before, but yeah, it's fine. So it comes up, server started, localhost. Just keep that open. All right, here we go. We got, this is essentially like new site 1 now, right? You got the nav bar, the teaser component, and then the actual, which is the article, let's say. And these don't go anywhere. It's fine. Upshot. So when I click on teaser component article name, it like shows the link down here. Let's go. So I guess it also says to install Bootstrap and React Strap, npm install bootstrap React strap. So if you want to install multiple libraries, you can just do space React strap. Now we're not going to get to the actual bootstrap React strap in the review. That's just for you to go experiment with. But let's follow the directions. And now you can see actually in our package.json, we actually React strap bootstrap in our package.json file. Let's start this up again. So currently when I click on these links, it takes to the hash up there in the URL. And that's not good, like, because where does it say? In the, where is that coming from? Is that the teaser? Yeah. So in here, we have this href. It's going to this link. And right now, it's really not going to that URL. So best practice, we want to overwrite that. I'm going to do this on click. I'm just going to copy this over. This is in the, it was in your lecture. We have this on click event. This event.prevent default prevents the default nature of the, what is this? Yeah, the anchor tag. So it's not going to go to there. So I'm going to go back up. I'm going to refresh. Whoop. See, that's okay that it broke, but it didn't go to that backslash. So why did it break? It looks like we're destructuring it here. What does destructuring mean?
Read the comment next to what it says.
Yep. Remove this props for when, if you went with a functional component.
Yeah.
We did. And you can always just pass in props in here and then destructure it down here. But this is a destructuring down here, so we're not actually using this dot props. This dot props nomenclature, the syntax, because this is all that's being passed in. Yeah. Let's look back at our great. If I click that, we don't get that hash anymore because this dot event prevent default prevents that from happening. Now if I comment that out and I refresh, there it goes. So let's keep that there.
Do you have to put that pass-through expression in there every time? You can't just get rid of the track.
No, that's going to break the tag, I think. Like if you actually just got rid of the href.
I was just curious.
See, you can't click on it then. All right. We have a new component called article list. Instead of showing the random article, we want to our home page to list all the article teasers. And then we actually have to like pass in props and be able to click on the article teaser and have it route us to that specific page. So this article list, where's article list being passed in?
Not yet.
So it looks like article list. Looks like we're going to need article teaser from here, right? So with the article list, we're going to need the list of articles at some point. Article teaser. great. Let's look at reference article list. Where is article list being generated at?
That's in from the home data.
Is it the home page? Okay, so here's where article list is coming in. We're getting the list of news articles passed in as props, as well as a handle, title, click. We're not currently using homepage, are we?
They have us change that after we.
Okay. I just like doing props. Props. I keep that right there. And then for article teaser, what do I need to pass in?
All that stuff right there.
All that good stuff.
All of that except the ID comes from spreading out one element of the article.
So I'm gonna break that right there. Article list. So I need the title, created, handle. That all is being right here. So I need title equals, what is it? So with the article list, what do I actually have to do? So I'm not just returning one teaser, am I?
It's doing a whole
I'm doing a whole bunch, correct.
That's the
So instead, and I'm getting, in the home page, instructions in this were kind of out of order, I personally think. So an article, we're getting a news being passed in as articles. So we should have articles, or this dot props dot articles. This dot props dot articles. If this is a class component, I can't render anything there. I'm going to move it down in between a render method. And so in here, I want to map through the articles and render an article teaser. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So map. Now what does this map function take in?
It's one element of the iterable.
So each,
Whatever you want to call it.
let's call it articles because each one is an article. And what else can a map take in? Take in the index as well, because we're going to need the actual key as well as an ID. Because in our data, I think we don't even have an ID, do we?
Nope.
Which is really annoying. So we can use index for that. What do we want to return? We want to return the article teaser. With each article has an article title. Indent this stuff just so.
I got points taken off the assessment.
For what?
Right now.
Like this?
Yeah. Well, not points. I just got a comment. Well, you didn't take.
So we need an ID for an index. What else do we need?
All of everything that comes with the article.
Okay, so everything that's in this article teaser, right? So-
Let's say an article, we call it article, there's one entry of the news that we're spitting out.
So byline, let's do created date equals article dot created date. Each article consists of, is like an object.
As a stylistic question, is it better to actually delineate exactly which things you're passing, or is it better to just spread everything out and pass it all? And then only,
I've seen it done both ways. Like I've even personally spread everything out in like the component, and then go back when I'm actually, or just pass it in as a spread operator, and then just extrapolate what I want in the component. I mean, but I've also, depends on readability for the next person, like what is actually being passed into this. I mean, no one will fault you for readability, but it's kind of easier to just do the spread operator just because it's less code. And we'll get to that spread operator. Article.title. What else do we need in this teaser? So we're just doing the teaser right now.
you need a handle click function.
Okay.
The article teaser has, so that's been passed in as props to the article list.
It's right there. Why is this giving me a error? Oh. That makes sense. And then down here is where we're going to actually return something. Like something. It's going to be the result of that. So let's const get all teasers. I don't know. That takes in nothing. It's just a arrow function. Let's move this up here. Can we just return this? And do I need this dot props?
Why don't you return two things?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Because this map is a function. It has to return something. So let's use this destructuring for this dot props. What do we want to extrapolate out of here? Const articles, and I think also this handle title click. So now we can get rid of this. Why is that giving me? Whoop. Again, since we are working in a class, and down here, I can just call that get all teasers. That should work, right? Don't know yet because we're not actually rendering the article list for the home page. We're not actually rendering the home page yet. So this component is yet to be called, it's not being called yet. So this article list won't render at all. So next is when we get to the React router. Move that back over here. Yeah, so is this where we delete everything? Yeah. So I'm gonna, oh, that was weird. I'm gonna clear. In the instructions it says React router. So React doesn't come with anything to like route you to different areas. So as Quinn was saying on, was it Wednesday? No, wait, I forgot what day is it? Friday. Yeah, last Friday. Like React is such a large community that it's like open source. Anybody can write libraries for. And one of the problems was a lack of being able to route to different routes and render specific components based off of the route. So there's this library called the React router. DOM, which helped us do that. So npm install React Router DOM -- save.
What's dumb, by the way?
Document object model.
That's actually what you see on the screen. Like all this stuff is considered the DOM. If you look at it, this is essentially just a big object. DOM breakpoint. I don't know if this will say it, but this is essentially just a big object. That's why it's called the document object model. All right, it's installed. I'm gonna clear. Then next in the instructions, component X, import browser router as router and route into the app.js. Okay. Now I'm just copying and pasting this code from the lecture. Where does it go? Down here, all the way up to the render. Okay, so let's see what happened. So I installed React Router DOM. I'm importing browser router as router. Then I'm also bringing in the route method or component. And then I'm replacing, down here I'm wrapping all of our routes in this router. Looks like a component with this router component.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm creating a couple of divs. And now this route component just looks like a normal component. I'm giving this the exact an exact param or exact keyword, and then the path of which I want to go to. If I don't use exact path, it will try to match the very first. Like, this won't ever be rendered if I don't use exact path. Like, I'll always come here, look, whatever it's the first backslash, it's going to be the first component it renders. So that's why we use exact. So it has to match this path exactly. It can't have anything after it. So same with exact. So at this exact path, if this component, it has this component keyword has to say component. It's not just like a variable. This is something that's built into React Router. And then it's going to render this homepage component. Likewise with this articles, takes in an article ID. The colon before means it's like a variable of some sort. It's going to change. I think you've seen this in Django, this kind of nomenclature with the router when you're in the URLs. And the component, the article page component is going to render. So I save that. Let's restart my server. See what happens. That's not yet. It might throw some errors. Oh, snap.
Oh, no.
So what happened? Uncaught reference error homepage is not defined at app.js. So I heard someone say I have to import them. So line 68, it's not defined. So I have to import these two components. So is it import home? What's that? It's just like not defined. I think it's like
Okay, just no.
from
Double negative. So shit. No, there's not even enough.
pages, home page, JS, and then article page. All right, you're attempting to. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's not a dot. All right, cool. So our app looks exactly like it did before. No? Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess you're right, yeah. To-dos, and I'm clicking on this thing. It says to-do, use React Router's history.push method to change the page. Where is that coming from? Let's look down. So we have this app.js file with our routes. Now, if we go to articles, let's go to an article. Whoa. Articles, already kind of, I go here. All right, cool. Our article page is rendering. What does our article page look like? It's just an empty component, essentially. Cool. Any questions up to this point? Anything in regards to props? Anything? All right. So we're seeing the behavior. So when we complete this, where'd that article page go? Article teaser, this handle click. Where did that error come from? Right here. Whoa. Console log, article, handle click. The home page takes in an article ID to do use React Router's history.push method to change the page. What does that mean? So I don't know what history.push equals. I'm going to Google that. Oh. React. I don't think that's it. React router. Browser. History.push. Nothing. Just look at the React router documentation. Is this it? I don't know. Declarative routing. How to access history push React router. How to push the history in React router 4. Create browser history. I don't want to import anything. What did it say in the cont? I don't know. What does it say in the directions? Oh, this.props.history. Okay. I'm just going to console log this.props.history. I want to see what shows up. I don't know what that means. I refresh. Homepage is props.history. So this looks like it's got a length of 5. So it looks like we have this push function, the function that takes in a path and I guess a state. I guess that's probably optional. First argument is a location, like the object that already has state. State is ignored. So it takes in the path. What is the path that I want? Console log. Do I just do this dot props dot history dot push and the path? Articles. And I need like the article ID. So, but I actually need to grab the colon ID, so I need to string interpolation. So, oh, there we go. Does this work? Let's find out. Oh, snap. Crackle and pop. There we go. 0. So going to like a \0 isn't considered restful. So how do we change pushing that? Add that.
Add one at one point and then subtract one at the other point.
So I have to add one wherever this is being pushed in. Where is that being pushed? Can I do, is this exactly where it's coming from? Articles, handle click. So maybe in the article list?
I think article list.
So maybe +1? I don't know if that's gonna work. Let's try it. I'm gonna refresh. I hate these errors. Where's the index.js? So where is that coming from? Article list?
Pass a key.
All right, let's pass a key in. Key equals. That make the error go away? That error goes away. Use at nav. Right here. All right, let's get a key here as well. That's much better. I hate those items. All right, cool. So I'm clicking there by adding 1 to that ID or that index that represents that an ID.
But that means that when you actually process it, you have to subtract it.
Awesome. Sweet. Correct. So at this point, now I think we're in a good shape. Do I need to do anything else? I need to render the page, right? So where's render article page being rendered? So it looks like it's going to take in an article. Where's the article coming from? So this is going to get rendered in article page, and it also takes in the data from the news. So article title.
You could also have access to the ID that
All right.
that's because of the URL.
Let's look at this. So how do I grab, so I want to render the article page, but I want to grab the specific data from this news.json.
Function JSON.
You should have an article ID.
Let's console log this.
Gotta do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Console log this dot props. Just look at it. Just look at it. Where is it? Oh, gotta click on it. So it's got match history. So I'm not really passing in anything other than Han. I can get match. So I have this match dot params an article ID, which is a string of 2. Cool. So I need to grab that number. How do I grab that number? Try to grab it. This dot match dot params the article ID.
I think it's
Capital. All right, so like right there, 3, nice. Now I want to grab that specific news article
Yes.
from this news array, our news JSON
So
file.
you could set this process as
So-
a variable. This tag
Const article equals, grab news, bracket, and subtract one.
Yeah.
Will that work? Let's console log this article.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
So I need to actually subtract one because I'm actually grabbing the second article because I added one.
Yes, two.
So let's see. So I'm refreshing. I'm going to click on there. Cool. Hope that's the right one. So I can always just go into use.json, look at it, expedite, do whatever. There.
Did it get you on 0 when you click?
Oh, I didn't console log
That
that.
actually had it in there. Console log article. See that?
Where am I looking at?
Console log article. Console log article.
Article isn't here.
Article's actual article. So what I'm doing here, I'm grabbing the index of this article within the news JSON array. Right here. This is all our data in JSON format. Oh, where'd it go? Now, what do I have to do? I need to render this article and pass in the necessary props. So article. What the hell's going on? So I need to pass in the article that I need to pass in the article information that our article page, article component uses. I need to pass in the title, created date, abstract, byline, and the image. Now, you can actually, I'm gonna split this screen. Now I can do title equals article.title, title, but as in Ethan, I say Ian, sorry, was saying before, I can also use the spread operator. What does this do? What does the spread operator do other than Ethan?
It's all,
What?
isn't it? You say that it grabs everything included with article.
Yeah, think of it as like quarks. It's, so in this article, where we go? That's it. So in this article, this is the article I'm grabbing. It's essentially separating everything out and assigning it like abstract, byline, created date. It's essentially doing this. Title equals article.title. And then what else is there? Byline equals article byline. Yeah. But it's doing it for every single key. Yeah. It's doing it for every single one. Byline, abstract, kicker. So even stuff we're not even using. Multimedia, org, facet. So it's doing all of these. It's like passing them all in as props. So I just want to show you. So if I do article like that, and then I delete, and then in my article component, if I don't deconstruct it and just pass in props, by console log this, or yeah, the props, I'm going to delete that. So I'm console logging props in here. Oh crap, it's not gonna work because all this is broken. So I'm just gonna, do you know how to comment out in JSX?
Command.
You gotta do the curly break like that. But-
Slash and star.
So here is everything that's being passed in as props. It's all that stuff. That's how we do, that's called the spread operator. It's 3 periods followed by everything. I'm gonna go back. Just going back because I want to deconstruct. I just want to grab the stuff from this article, the main data from the article, and I'm going to deconstruct it here. So now everything should almost work, except for the image isn't showing up. Why is that? Image even, let's look at this dot props down here. Console log, this dot, or article, sorry. Does image even exist?
Yeah,
Not
yes,
as an
no.
image.
Some crazy person changed the structure of
So it looks like we have multimedia. That's an array with a URL. That's stupid. So I'm going to, so instead of image, pass in multimedia,
the question is which multimedia image do you want?
just the first one. So multimedia, array at 0, dot URL. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
There it goes. But now let's test something. What if they doesn't have multimedia? You guys memorized
Which
it?
is the first one that I tried.
Oh no, yeah, multimedia. So what if we just test if it has a length?
Okay.
What was it, this one? There it goes. There we go. And instead of actually doing dot null, I think we can also get rid of that null. Do the and. Does that work?
You can also plug in an alt description that says there's not one, so.
Ah. There
Or
we
you could
go.
also add in logic above it to take multimedia, process it, and then assign it as a receiver to change your actual NSX.
Can you say that one more time?
Write in some logic above the return statement to process multimedia to the URL and assign that value as image so you don't have to change the NSX.
Gotcha. Yeah. Is that everything? Is that the whole? Then there's Bootstrap. I'm not going to get into Bootstrap. You guys can mess around with it. Yeah. So let's just like look at Bootstrap. React strap. React strap. So easy to use React Bootstrap for components. There we go. These are all just like components that you can use. Badge, you can import the badge from React Strap, and this is kind of what it looks like. Actually, do it. Screw it. Where are we doing it at? Let's do it in here. Let's do it in the article. All right. And now let's import badge and the heading. Like that. Does that work? I have no idea.
Damn right it does.
Right there, new.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
That does suck. New. Why does it suck so bad?
That's what I thought.
I think you gotta.
It's a bad.
Oh, it's because, yeah, I don't know why that's. Anyway, that's kind of how you can do that.
Okay.
Any other questions? Need to go over anything? Done it a few times.